KP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue all the latest topics, guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel, just like you're a kid again. Kid to pro and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
All right. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts. From music, finances, black business highlights, home ownership, HBCU, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 7-5, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, aka the Calculator Millennial, the encore presentation. Now, can I get an encore? Do you want more? Aka your favorite toxic adjacent king. The 843 is me, but VA is where I stay. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again to season 5. This is the second episode of our season restart. As you all know, we usually take a break in August and come back in September full force. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to our first episode where we talked about the hip hop groups tournament that we did, and that ended very I don't mean to use puns here, but that was a very chaotic way that tournament ended, because how is all I'm just going to say. How, if you have not listened to the episode, please go to the end and listen to who ended up winning the tournament, because an agenda was pushed. That's all I can say. And I'm a Southern boy, and y'all already know that, when it comes to the South, I love Southern hip hop, but damn. That's all I got to say about that. It is the OG3 starting out today. Of course, we will start with the first lady of the pod, Miss Nasa. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Hey y'all, y'all already know who it is. It is your girl Nasa, aka the Queen, aka Tony Noir, aka Nakaso. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And I hope all of y'all is doing well. And good vibes only. What y'all been up to? What y'all been
Not
up to?
shit.
Not
Not
shit.
Lifing.
shit.
Yeah.
Life. That's really what we
Yeah.
doing. We surviving. For real, for real. And again, the first co-host of the pod, aka the co-pilot Law, please go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? It's your boy Love back again. Short and sweet. Let's get to it.
Indeed. We're gonna try to be quick, y'all, because again, we got things to do and people got sleep to catch up on. So we're gonna try to get through some of these topics as quickly as possible. Some of them may, warrant a longer discussion, but we shall see. First things first, as always, let's do a mental health check. I want to make sure that everybody is at least, doing okay for the most part. If anybody wants to start, I'll go last.
I can't complain, honestly. I tried not to complain. With everything that's been going on here recently, it's just I gotta pick myself up by the bootstraps and keep going.
Hey man, that's fair. In all honesty, as long as you got the bootstraps to pick it up, because I believe Dr. King has said it is a cruel joke just to tell a bootless man to pick himself up by his bootstraps. So as long as you got the boots there, and as long as you know what you got to do, then by all means continue to push forward.
That's
Uh,
a
N-
fact.
yep, Nasa.
I am I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm leaning on God's unchanging hand. So
Hey,
Come
um
on,
amen.
hey, shout out that
okay, I'm
brother.
leaning on God's unchanging hand. But no, I'm doing all right. I think these past couple days I've had the chance to kind of reflect. I do think that we all sometimes kind of need to just reflect on ourselves and our growth and our progress. And I learned that some of the areas that I thought that were healed need to be relooked. So,
hmm
we gon' put a pen to paper and we gon' figure out what's going on. I do recommend journaling to anybody who is um dealing with like mental anxiety or just like, you know, feeling like a little chaotic, like to get their thoughts out on paper, because journaling is a very great outlet to use. So anybody who's listening, definitely get a journal, put a pen to paper, and yeah. So I'm all right. I've been all right, but you just gotta keep pushing.
Indeed, indeed. Um, every day above ground is a blessing. If I'm just gonna be honest, there have been some things that have happened family wise. There are things that have been happening, in my life in general wise, and then there are some things that I still just have to navigate. It's difficult, man. Adulting is definitely not all it's cracked up to be. I can't believe that when we were kids, we used to say we can't wait till we grow up, man. Now I'm just sitting here like,
This is
please
the
take me
worst
back.
ghetto ever. You
Please,
hear me?
like
This
this.
is the worst ghetto ever.
Yeah. This take this shit back, please, all the way.
This
Give
is
me
the
a
worst hood ever.
What it say? Boo, tomato, tomato, tomato.
Tomato,
tomato,
tomato.
tomato, tomato, tomato. Indeed, like this
Zero
shit is the worst.
stars.
Yeah, would
Zero
not
stars.
recommend.
Would not
Facts.
recommend.
Do not
But
return basura,
mm-mm, mm-hmm.
garbage, all
Okay.
the whole nine.
Nah, man. If this was a game of Monopoly, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Please take
Warning.
me back. Right. I'm saying, this is it's been rough, but at the same time, as we've said before, God is good, man, and just I'm holding on to God's unchanging hand. I've actually been getting into my word a little more and been
Mm.
praying a lot more, and of course have been looking at sermons and writing down some things, as well as getting back into going to church more consistently, because I know for when COVID happened, I've been kind of like but I see that if I can go and be in the club, I can be in church. So uh
Amen.
that has that. And yeah, I'm saying, like, I went to a whole party for the Noops on Labor Day weekend. I'm like, I can't make excuses, man. I'm going to church. So I know sometimes my body will like not wake up on time, and it is how it is. I ain't gonna make excuses, but sometimes I just oversleep. And thankfully, I have churches that I can watch online, like my church back home, as well as some other churches that I like to watch. But still, God's word is ever present, so that's the
For
important thing.
sure.
Right.
But in any case, that has been my life right now. There have been some things that happen, but like law, I'm just gonna keep pushing forward regardless. With that in mind, for those of us who are hip hop heads, just as at the time of this recording, Crazy Bone was admitted to the hospital for internal bleeding. Apparently, he had a leaking artery, and it was a part of his condition, which I did not know that he had this, but apparently, Crazy Bone has sarcoidosis, and I have family members who have that condition and disease, and it is not anything to play with. Like, for those who know, Bernie Mac has sarcoidosis, and granted, that's not what ultimately took his life, but it did not help that he had it. So, with that in mind, it's a very debilitating disease, which causes inflammation inflaming of the muscles, pretty much, as well as some other parts of the body. So if you're not careful, it can be really, really debilitating and even life threatening. With that in mind, please, for those of us who are Bone Thugs and Harmony's fan, and even if you're not a Bone Thugs and Harmony fan, please keep Crazy Bone in your prayers. That man is truly a man of God. That man truly makes good music and is one of the best rappers ever, and one of the best, if for those who know the term choppers. That man can chop when it comes to rap. So just keep him in your prayers and pray that he'll be able to heal from this, and that the surgeons will be able to fix whatever is going on with him, and praying that he is able to come through and continue making music and continue doing what he loves. The last thing we need is another legend in hip hop passing away way too soon. So definitely keep him in your thoughts and your prayers, and send love and light to his family and to the Bone Thugs in Harmony. So on to more crazier and chaotic things. Uh, First, quick note: we got to talk about the band director who got arrested. Got
Yeah,
gotta
what was
mention
up with
this.
that? What was up with that?
It's 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 absolutely crazy, but at the same time, if I'm a band director, I'm probably doing the same thing. I don't know if I'll be saying "get out my face," but it is clear that this was nuts. So I'm gonna try and see if I can pull up the article, but I just thought that this was kind of interesting because the band director kind of set himself up for this, but at the same time, it's black culture and it's black band culture. Like this is what we do. So let me pull up the actual article itself. Uh, because of course I believe this happened in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and it turned violent. Let's see. Uh, Let me make sure I pull up the AP article. There we go. So, an Alabama high school band director said Wednesday that he was just doing my job when police officers arrested him and shocked him with a stun gun after he refused to immediately stop the band as it played in the bleachers following a football game. Johnny Mims, the band director at Minor High School, told the Associated Press he was confused when officers pulled him from the director's podium to arrest him following last Thursday's game between Minor and Jackson Olin high schools. I was in shock, just totally confused because I was pretty much doing my job and I hadn't done anything wrong. I definitely did not deserve to be tased, Mims said by phone. Mims said police shocked him with the stun gun 3 times. Police body camera footage released Monday shows Mims being arrested and repeatedly shocked in a chaotic scene that includes students screaming. Police charged him with disorderly conduct, harassment, and resisting arrest. In the body camera footage, officers are seen approaching Mims as the band plays in the stands. They ask him several times to stop the performance, saying it's time for everyone to leave the stadium since the game is over, and appear incredulous that Mims continues directing the band for another 2 minutes or so. As the music continues, an officer tells Mims he will go to jail. Another says she will contact the school. Mims flashes 2 thumbs up and says that's cool. Put him in handcuffs, an officer is later heard saying. Stadium lights are cut off shortly before the band finishes. Mims said after the song ended that he was pulled from the conductor stand. Officers are seen in video apparently trying to arrest him in a scrum of bodies. Students in the 145-member band, which is actually pretty large for a high school band, can be heard screaming as the arrest plays out. Mims said he was confused by what was happening. He said Wednesday that the two bands were doing what is sometimes called a fifth quarter show, in which bands perform as attendees leave the stadium. He said he wasn't trying to be defiant, but rather was attempting to wrap up the song. We were at the last half of our song, he said. Police said in a statement Friday that officers decided to take Mims into custody after the confrontation. They said Mims refused to put his hands behind his back, and that the arresting officer said he was pushed by the band director, which led to the use of a stun gun. Mims was arrested on charges of disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and harassment. Mims said he didn't push or hit any of the officers. You will see that my client never struck or never attempted to strike an officer, said Representative Juandalyn Givan, who is, I think that's how you say the name, who is Mims' attorney, said during a Wednesday news conference. And I think I'm going to stop right there because it's pretty much the end of the article anyway. But so, and I wish Sape was here to talk about this. I know that she said that she was on her way home, but all four of us, or the four of us, are, we're in music in some form or fashion, and 3 of us actually marched with the Hampton University Marching Force. So when we take things into perspective, when it comes to black college bands, the fifth quarter is always something we look forward to if, we know that we have a strong book to play at another band. And for those who are not familiar with what a fifth quarter is at the very, very end of the game, the two bands stay and they play back and forth until they feel like it's time to go, or they've run out of material to play. So with that in mind, it's not uncommon for black high schools to have this same tradition, especially high school show stepping bands. And clearly, if you know Alabama culture in both the black and the white world, in Alabama, you have Alabama A&M and Alabama State, who are the heavy hitters in that state as far as collegiate marching bands. Not to mention Jackson State over in Mississippi. Not to mention all the different bands that are in Atlanta, in the Georgia area. So band culture, especially in the South, is incredibly strong, and this is a part of their tradition. So with that, I kind of feel for the band director because apparently, he's doing his job. Now, at what I would have said, now I know, granted, I watched the video, and of course, you hear him say a couple times, "Get out my face, get out my face." But if there's two officers trying to tell him to go, I'm not going to sit here and say that I would have said yes, sir, and then cut them off. I would have been reasoning with them like, "Hey, the song is almost over. Can you please let us finish?" And I still would have finished. Now, I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, well, he should have just cut the band off and complied and whatnot." Well, first and foremost, let's not get into the whole comply discussion because we know even when we comply, we still get killed. But
Yeah.
that's another discussion for another time. In this scenario, in this particular scenario, it's like, was the stun gun really needed? And I think even if it was, one time is fine. Three times is way too excessive. You could have easily gave that man a heart attack and he could have passed. There was no reason to be that aggressive with him as far as shutting it down. And from what I could tell, the other band had just finished wrapping up on the other side of the field. So it's like, just let him finish the song. But
JJ,
yeah,
what if my thing is okay? You went straight to the stun gun. Like, what if like they would have missed and hit one of the students? Because if you remember in the video, there were students that were in the vicinity.
that's the other thing. I wasn't even getting that far, but you brought up an excellent point. Like, if you hit one of the students, then what?
You know, if I could.
That's
We've
go
had
ahead.
our situations where we've had to leave, like during the fifth quarter, but like most of the times it was due to like rain or the fact
Hmm.
that we were on a tight schedule, and even then, we did our due, like we played our songs and whatnot, but it was just like to just be blatantly told to stop the performance all because they're trying to close the stadium. We've never had a situation like that.
No, I will say that when I was working with the staff as part of the marching force, there was one time I think that I don't know if it was Norfolk State that had us leave early in one of those games, but that was because I think, as you said, it was because of a tight schedule and the I don't know why I almost called it the Blue and Gold Marching Machine. I'm like, that is definitely A&T. The Spartan Legion was on a tight schedule. So that's particularly why they had to actually have us leave early, was because Spartan Legion had to go do something else. But still, it's like, I'm with you, Law. It's kind of like, yo, I don't know if the police or if the school knew about the traditions, but they should. Especially if it's a black band director and if it's a black school, then the school should know about this tradition. Now, I will say that if he was excessive and played like super, super long, then I get why you were trying to get him to come down. But if it's one of those things where it's like, you know, 10 minutes after the game is over, let them continue playing. Let them finish doing what they're doing. Now, if it's one of those things where it's like 30 minutes to an hour after the game, then okay, I get it. But still, the stun gun itself is just, in my opinion, was just unnecessary
It
because
was
you could have,
uncalled for.
yeah, you could have easily harmed somebody's kids with that, and then could have easily, you know, that band director could have suffered a serious injury. So anyway, that's just my opinion of it. And again, we're part of band culture. We understand what it is to have a fifth quarter. We know the significance of that and the tradition of that. Not everybody does, but still, I'm hoping that this sheds a light on, what black traditional show style stepping bands do from the high school level all the way up to collegiate level. And
We
I
the
hope that it
culture.
gets, yeah, I'm saying that's the culture. I'm hoping that it gets accepted and that people recognize what we do and allow us to, do our thing and then get on. And again, going back to one of the other original points that I had, if it was excessive, if he was just like 30 minutes to an hour, if he was being, what's the word I'm looking for? if he was just being, I didn't want to say ignorant about it, but if he was just being if he was, I guess ignorant is the best option. If he was just being ignorant about it, it's like, oh, it's an hour after the game, I'm gonna just keep playing. That's one thing, but let them play, man. Let the kids have fun with it. Like
But that
this is
also
this is
boils
part of their
down
culture.
to the actual article itself. Like they only gave us kind of the abridged version of
Mm-hmm.
the actual outcome of what happened. They didn't say what the time frame was, how long after the game it was. They just
Right.
made it a point that, oh, the band director got tased and he was arrested and now he's being charged with all these different things. It's just like you got to give the full detail and account because you know what I'm
Right.
saying. At the end of the day, the investigation will show what was what.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it boils down to. We just gotta wait for the rest of the investigation to finish and find out how much more information we're gonna get from that. Because again, we only know part of the story, and of course, we saw the video, but there are definitely going to be some details left out, and that's always the case when it comes to these kind of things. Nasa, did you have a comment?
Actually, no, I don't have a comment on this because I did not see the video. So I did not see the, or at least the full video. I only heard like bits and pieces of it. Um, but from what you guys have said, I guess I will say, um, security. I feel like security should be informed in regards to those type of things. To like
Mm-hmm.
to kind of relieve any conflict. But is the situation really sad? Absolutely, because that was unnecessary. It sounds really unnecessary. The taser, all of that sounds really unnecessary. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's ultimately how I see it. Again, we'll get more information as it comes out, and hopefully we will be able to ascertain what has truly happened in the situation and then who ends up being like the truly guilty party. But again, when it comes to situations like that, it's just, yeah, as everyone has said, it's excessive. There was no need to hit somebody with a stun gun 3 times. I think
Yeah.
once is, I think, a good enough reminder, like, hey, chill out. But anyway,
He could have. They could have honestly went about that a completely different way. They could probably, could have let him finish and then wrote him like a little warning or something like that. Like that would
mm-hmm.
have been peaceful.
Yep.
But like, no,
That was too easy.
that
Yeah,
was too
clearly,
easy. You know what I'm saying?
clearly.
That was too easy.
Right. They could have easily also just took him to the side afterwards and been like, hey, what is the deal? Like, when we tell you to leave, you like leave. And then he could have explained the situation off on the side after everything was all said and done. And there could have been a peaceful resolution. But what do we know? We just black in America.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm moving on from this subject. Now, we usually record on a Sunday, guys, but this is clearly Monday night that we're doing this. And I just gotta say, I gotta talk about this football game. Like, what the absolute hell happened, Denver Broncos? Like,
You
what
can leave me out
what
of this.
happened?
You can
Sorry,
leave me out
I
of
my
this.
bad, Nasa. I gotta comment on your home team because this is what? Come on, man. How do you get, as Uncle Shannon Sharp said, you got 50 piece with 20 extra flags and no extra charge. Like, come on. You allow 70 points on your head. That is absolutely crazy. Now, here's my
Yikes.
thing. Yeah, this ain't all on Russ. There was a couple times that Russ did fuck up. There was a couple times that, excuse my language, there was a couple times that, the offense was very inept, but football's played on both sides of the ball. And
Yep.
what the defense was doing, I don't know. But it seemed like they just let Raheem Mostert just do whatever the hell he wanted. They let Tua like live in the pocket. That boy only missed like what, 2 passes the entire game.
Hmm.
And then it's a problem when you let your second string running back run all over you as well as your second string quarterback. They was just having the time of their lives. So anyway, welcome Sappy to the stage. I hope that you're living well here, madam.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Sappy. Yes.
Yes,
Sappy
we can hear you, madam.
girl.
Hey, y'all.
What's
Sappy
up?
girl. How you doing?
How y'all living?
We doing all
Good.
right. We surviving.
I was
All
seeing
right.
a
If
post
I
today.
am driving, I'm not trying to be a bad influence. Do not drive while y'all don't multitask while driving. However, so if y'all hear my road rage, I'm really a nice person.
It's fine, Sappy. We all know. We all know. We'll have to run it back as far as what we talked about because we did just finish talking about the band director situation, and now we're talking about this Denver Broncos and Miami Dolphins situation. But
Oh, I don't
real
know about
quick,
that situation.
I'm gonna put a pause on that. But just what were your comments in regarding like the band director facing arrest and getting stunned 3 times?
So the thing about that band director situation is kind of like I'm kind of in the middle about it, mainly
Mm-hmm.
because as someone who's been in band, I understand you do not stop until you have finished your performance. It's a performance thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You don't allow outside things to stop your performance. You are always putting on a good show. You always want to look your best as far as your performance. So I get why he felt the need to let me finish my song first. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure you're putting on your best performance. However, do I think he should have stopped? I do, mainly because I don't know if it was their home game or if that was their home turf. I didn't get clarification on that, but I
Mhm.
think if the police is telling you, can you please stop? Telling them get out my face. Like there's ways to de-escalate a situation on both ends. I do believe the police officers were wrong with how they handled the situation, but I also think the band director was wrong in how he presented the situation. You don't just be like, get out my face, man, I'm not trying to do this, get out my face, and be belligerent. There's a time and a place to act a certain way, and I think they both could have handled it, and the situation didn't need to go as far as it needed to, or as far as it did.
Yeah, I think we all pretty much had that same opinion. Like it's a very sad situation, and in all honesty, we were like, we don't know if it was his home turf. We really don't know how many minutes after the game it really was. So I was just saying, in my view, like if this was like 10 minutes after the game, like come on, man, just let them play. This is the fifth
Right, because
quarter. It's part of our.
if you know band culture, it's a fifth quarter. You're there for at least 30 more minutes because it's a
Yeah.
culture thing because that's what we do. That's what I'm saying. As a band person, I fully understand because that is what we do. That is also what we are known for. So that's what we
Mm-hmm.
expect to do. But if they're saying from comments that were under multiple videos that were posted, there were people who were at the game saying that the other band had packed up, they were leaving, they were halfway by the bus, and they were clearing out the stadium so that the workers could clean up the stadium. At
Mm,
that point, I'm saying, hey, I don't know if that was factual, but those are the comments that were below the video. And if that is true, then I feel like y'all should have packed it up. These kids got to go home. It's probably a school night. You know what I mean? Like there was
yeah.
no need to stretch it if it wasn't a necessary situation to stretch.
And I was gonna
Ex-
say that too. Like they're high school students. It's the difference between college and high school. They are
yep.
high school kids with parents who maybe have to work the next day. So I do get it from that of view, and it's just it's still a point that like again from the showman side of it, you don't stop your song right in the middle of a phrase like. And I mean, again, most people don't understand that, and that could have been the lack of knowledge on the officer's end as well. But I mean, if you are at least like if you're of age to be a police officer, you know about high school and college bands playing after a football game, and if you haven't,
Mm-hmm.
well, now you know.
But
Um,
everybody,
right, like if
I'm saying.
it's 2023. Like if you don't know about band culture or even the slightest sense of band in itself, do your research.
This is actual factual. So yeah, going back to my original point again, we don't know how long this was, because if this was one of those things where it was like maybe 45 minutes after the game, then it's like at that point you do have to have a cutoff time, like, hey yo, you gotta chill. But again, I think it was just the police handled that. It was very excessive, and same time, we don't know all the details, just based on the video that we saw, based on the articles that we read. So we just gotta let the investigation play out, and hopefully we'll get some more answers. So jumping back into this football thing, I just really just wanted to comment that yeah, if I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm firing. If I'm management, if I'm ownership, I'm firing everybody. Like I'm firing the head coach, I'm firing the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, I'm firing special teams, I'm firing the assistant coaches. What? No, there is absolutely no way that you allowed 70 points on your team. Like that is in the NFL of all things. Like
So what
where does
exactly
that
was the
happen?
situation?
Say again, Sappy.
What exactly was the situation that occurred?
It wasn't really like a situation. This is more like how do you let that happen? The final score between the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos was the Miami Dolphins had 70 points and the Denver Broncos had 20. You, when was the last time anybody scored 70 points in the NFL?
It
That's
was
the point I'm trying to make.
1966.
Exactly.
What is that
1966.
when they make the ref stop the game because like the score is too embarrassing?
Oh no,
A mercy, what is it? Mercy something?
it went to regulation time. It was just the fact that the Denver Broncos basically got spanked that bad in
That
one NFL
No, but
bad.
game.
like in high school, there's a it's a mercy rule or something like that. To where if the score is like so wide that it's actually embarrassing the other team, no matter if they haven't like reached the time to the end of the game, they will stop the game. Like they can't
I
be, I think, more than 50 points ahead, and then they will just stop the game. They
Yeah, I
should
don't
have
know
did
if there's
that.
anything like
n-
that for the NFL, but
nope.
there was one
They need to
comment
bring it
that I
back.
saw. There was one comment that I saw from another player on another NFL team, and he felt that it was disrespectful of Sean Payton to leave Russell Wilson in the game with them having lost by that many points. Because Russell Wilson has done a lot for the NFL and the teams that he's played for, regardless of people's opinions.
Yeah, I will say that Sean Payton probably also had this coming because he did talk a lot of trash on that previous head coach, on his way out the door, and just made a lot of underhanded comments. So this was probably karma just coming for him, and so I'm not too like upset about it. I'm just like still in amazement that this even happened. Granted, there is no mercy rule in the NFL. There's no mercy rule in college. It is what it is, but the thing about that was that again the Miami Dolphins, they kind of knew when to pull their starters out. Once it got to like the 50s, they was like, okay, y'all come sit down because there's absolutely no way that Denver's gonna come back at this point. But when your second string starts going off, that's a problem. It's like,
I feel
what
like
do you
that's
do?
what it's. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like your second string quarterback and your second string running back is running up the score. Now you're just kind of like, well, I mean, what do you expect us to do? And then the defense is still making plays. They still making interceptions and causing turnovers, and it's in your territory. So what are you gonna do? Just sit and take fourth quarter turnover, or not fourth quarter, but you take fourth turnover on downs on fourth down. No, you just go keep doing what you're doing until the game is over.
I would have been hella petty if I was a coach. I would have been getting people from the stands like, y'all trying to play? We letting anybody on the field now. I mean, it looks
You're
like we're
like,
gonna
hold
win
on,
regardless. So
wait a minute, something
I
ain't
let
right.
kids, I let kids play. I'm like, y'all want to throw the ball around? Come on.
That is really disrespectful, and that's kind of crazy. But you know
I
what?
mean, at least give them an opportunity to get back up.
You right. You right. Dog, that is it's still just so nuts. But I'm gonna move on because I don't want NASA to continue to feel the way that you're
Look,
feeling.
I'm not feeling no type of way. I ain't watched the game, so I can't feel no type of way. But better luck next time.
Is there gonna
Yeah.
be a next time it look like everybody getting fired?
And because everybody is getting fired, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cut the
And
whole team at this point.
At this point, we
cut
just
the
gonna
whole
start scratch.
roster.
We gonna pull a second string in off the field. Any
Hmm.
random folks, hey, let's try out.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, we have an immediate tryouts like right now. But all right, y'all. All right, y'all. Now I had my laugh for the day. So, real quick, are there any new shows that anybody is watching?
I don't think it's a
Um,
new show, but I am revisiting a show that is new to me. Have y'all seen Godfather of Harlem?
I haven't actually sat down and watched it, but I've heard
Wow,
that
this
it's
show is
really good.
good. It is amazing. I am probably, I think, on episode 7 of the first season, and I am like hooked. You know how some shows it take you a minute to get in, but I was hooked after episode 1. Forrest Whitaker is that actor. He is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great cast, and I mean, I always love historical dramas because I like to see how they take people's storyline and make a show out of it or a movie. But it's a really good show. I recommend it if anybody likes like the crime, drama, mob, drug cartel type thing, but a black version.
No, say less. Say
um,
less.
KJ, I'm catching up on some old stuff. I've been watching 86.
Okay.
Um, Tokyo Revengers, which they're actually gonna come out with a season 3, I believe.
Yeah. This is either season. This is
Either
yeah,
season
yeah.
3 or
This will be
season 4.
season 3 because this is the Tenjiku arc. This is when shit gets kind of crazy.
Yeah. Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm pushing the Gundam agenda. Let's go. That is one of the. I loved Witch from Mercury, man. That was one of my favorite shows. Watching it starting last fall. So yes.
And then I'm picking up like little other stuff like Zom 100, Hell's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, like just going through and looking at other stuff. Mashley, Magic and Music. I think that's what it is.
Oh, Magic and Muscles, Mashal.
Yeah.
Boy, Mashal is for those who do not know about this anime, just imagine One Punch Man mixed in with Harry Potter. That's the best way to put it.
So like I'm in like the first opening episodes of that, but that's kind of I just been on an anime kick for real.
Okay.
What you use to watch it? Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that essential or the premium.
I'm
Oh
about to say
yeah.
I couldn't sign up for the premium, so I'll be doing the free stuff, but they don't really got much available on there.
Yeah, we actually had that conversation on Shogo High. We were talking about how like having the free part of Crunchyroll, one, you got to deal with ads. Two, not every series is going to be available to
The
you.
free
So
ads.
yeah, so a lot of people, we was just talking about how a lot of people, I don't recommend y'all do this, but if y'all decide to pirate, then by all means, be
Nah,
Luffy,
they've
do what
been
you got to do to watch these shows.
I
Speaking of
personally
which,
do not pirate shows. However, some of these links don't be doing what it needs to do.
All right, nah, you are speaking facts. You got to find the right link and the right source because some of these sources that some of these people be giving out is kind of like, no, I ain't trying to give my computer A's just to watch this joint.
right.
Okay.
Hey KJ, speaking of Luffy, Gear
Hmm.
5? My God.
I ain't got there yet. Don't like. I know it happens because I remember now. Remember, guys, I've restarted my One Piece journey because I was too far behind, and I got stuck in Alabasta, and I had not made any progress. I am in Enos Lobby now. I have made it all the way there, so now I'm just continuing my journey. I still got a long way to go. But I know about Gear 5.
How
I've
many
seen
seasons does One Piece have?
It's on 13.
um
I was about to say, is it like
as
12
Crunchyroll
or
said,
13?
well, Crunchyroll says
yeah.
13, but I think it's really like 10 or 11.
Yeah, if you skip like all of the filler and all the drawn out parts, what I do is I read the manga because
Hmm.
it's better paced. So
Hmm.
that's why I've been able to get to like in his lobby now. I'm like, okay, if I can finish this arc now and then get to posting this lobby, then I know that I'm just at that point I'm just gonna be running. So yeah, and there
Have
are
y'all
gonna be
seen the
parts
live
of the
action?
animation. I have
I
seen the
have
live
not.
action. I if you
Is
are a
it
One
good?
Piece fan. Oh yes, it is good
Mm,
because they
I'm
have
gonna have to
the
tune
mangaka who is backing
in.
them.
Excuse me.
So it's like there are certain things that are different. There are some things that that you may be like, he made that
I mean, you
change.
gotta take
Interesting.
creative liberties.
Yep. And on
Somebody's
top of
gonna
that,
have to let me use their password.
I mean, well, I was gonna say Netflix done changed the rules, so that's another topic for another time too, man. Because these streaming sites is getting ridiculous. But still, yeah, if you are able to watch the One Piece live action, please do yourself a favor and do so, especially if you're a One Piece fan. It's one of the best live action adaptations, if not the best live action adaptation of an anime that I've ever seen. Like, it's no by no means is it perfect because nothing is ever perfect for real, but I think it does enough to, get you to be drawn in and continue to fall in love with the series. So definitely check it out. Nasa, did you have any new shows?
I don't have any new shows. You guys, when I tell you I have been boring as hell, I've been boring. I'm sorry. I have not been watching any shows. I have not been watching no shows. I've been being a little, I've been journaling. I've been also been reading books. I got some new books that I could possibly share.
Ooh, we could talk about books, girl. What you reading?
I just finished The Psychology of Money, and you
Ooh.
guys, you have to read it. It's so good.
Fair
Like
enough. Okay. Putting that
the
down.
the psychology of money by Morgan Housel, and then I have my other book. Where is it at? Oh, um, it's a book of healing. Of That's what it's called, the
Mhm.
Book of Healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a poetry book. And so it basically is a book about like how to heal yourself and like going through stages of healing and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been reading.
That is what's up.
That's definitely what's up, and thank you for that book recommendation. I'm actually reading a book myself. It's a very short book. I'm not gonna say the name of it just yet because I currently don't have the book in front of me, and it's actually kind of for work, so it's kind of a required reading. But when I finish it, I'll definitely recommend it for those of us who are like in business and work in business. I think it'll be a good quick read for you if you just need something to, take something from it and just pass the time very quickly. So that will come later. As far as new shows, I am a Star Wars head, so y'all know I'm already on Ahsoka. Ye-
Oh, on Disney Plus.
yes,
I haven't
yes.
started it yet, but I'm hyped for it.
Yes, you will love it, especially if you are a fan of the Clone Wars and have watched Rebels. It
Mhm.
really ties into the story well. Now you don't have to watch these series to watch Ahsoka, but it adds a lot of clarification for those characters you may not know about. Like if you don't know about Sabine, or if you don't know about Ezra, then I highly recommend that you watch Rebels. And same with the Clone Wars. Like if you don't know who Ahsoka is, or if you have not got a chance to watch the Clone Wars series, please watch. Like the Clone Wars series is so good, like, and it just gets better with each season. Like I promise you, you'll love it. So Ahsoka, for me, has really been like the show that I've been watching outside of anime watches. So I highly recommend, if you love Star Wars like me, watch Ahsoka. Like watch it. You'll get, especially if you've seen those other two series, you'll get every little Easter egg that's in there, and you'll really enjoy the story. I've enjoyed it so far, and I think there's like 2 or 3 more episodes left. So definitely take the time and opportunity to watch it if you have not. And that's really like the main new show that I have. Of course, if you listen to Show Go High, we're actually getting ready to talk about the fall season anime that's coming up, and we'll discuss our anime list for the fall on that episode. And I'll probably bring some of those recommendations to Chaotic Culture as well. Some of the shows that Law has been watching, I've also been watching as well. He mentioned Zom 100, which Zom 100 keeps getting delayed, but for good reason. The cinematography in that show is absolutely immaculate. So if you have not watched Zom 100, highly recommend that you do as well. I've also been watching Reign of the Seven Spellblades, Jobless Reincarnation, and another anime by the name of Undead Murder Farce. Now, if you love mystery,
Hmm.
boy, the show has a good mix of mystery, thriller, and action. I highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend. That has been my surprise show of the summer season. So yeah, definitely check those out. Okay, quick note. Quick note. We got to talk about this because I did not watch the MTV Video Music Awards. I have no reason to anymore. Is really not my thing. Like, there's only certain award shows that I
I didn't
would
even
like
know
to
it was
actually
coming
sit down and
on
watch.
until it came on.
Listen, I forgot all about it. I knew about it, but then when they were like red carpet for the VMAs, I was like, "Oh, it is today." Huh? Okay. That's pretty much what my reaction was. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool." So, of course, I did not watch. So I couldn't tell you what happens at that award show. I couldn't tell you about any of the performances because honestly, I don't know. But
I
something
watched a
that
couple of the performances. I
okay,
watched a couple
well,
of the
I'm a
performances.
how were
We're
they
gonna
now?
hold
So I'm
that.
gonna
We're
let you
gonna hold
cook.
that thought. But no.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay,
let you cook. But we're gonna get to
all
that
right,
because there were a couple performances that really did their thing. I'm not gonna hold you.
bet.
There
Okay,
was. I saw a couple, and I was like, okay, y'all did that.
cool. The one thing I just want to talk about was the whole Victoria Monet situation. Now, this kind of bleeds into new music because for those who have not heard Jaguar 2, what the hell are you doing? Please go listen to it. It's really quick, but it is so
For real though.
good. Like,
I
yo,
mean, Jaguar won too, but
yeah. Oh, yes. I'm just saying, like, if you haven't heard Jaguar 2 already, go. But Jaguar 1, please start. Listen to all of Victoria Monet. Like, listen to her whole discography. Like, it is like phenomenal.
what was
But
it? Dreams?
still,
Was it Dreams and Nightmares? No, that's a song. There's a her one of her EPs. Oh my god, that's
mm-mm.
phenomenal.
Well, I cannot get enough of Victoria Monet. I kid you not. I kid you not. But if you have not listened to Jaguar 2, please do it. Now, the crazy thing is that Victoria Monet seems to have now is starting to now get more recognition. She should have got more in previous years, but she's starting to get like more and more recognition. But I guess there was a comment that was made along the lines of, I'm not sure if it was someone from MTV that told her it wasn't her time yet, and it really kind of struck me as odd because I'm like, Victoria been in the game for a little minute now, and y'all saying it's not her time yet. I think this is really, honestly, this with Jaguar too. This might be the glass ceiling that she has reached. Like she's getting ready to break through it. So I just really wanted to ask, do y'all agree with that comment? Did y'all believe that it's not her time yet, or do y'all believe that she's just super long overdue and MTV just was being stingy?
I mean, I have to look at it in this situation. As someone, we have to realize we know her because we listen to her EPs. We know like who she wrote for, so we know her as an artist. But you have to also think about how VMAs are as far as like overall artistry. So
Mm-hmm.
with the VMAs, they're looking at who is popular, who is out and about, or who has been in the limelight for a long time. As someone who listens to music and who looks at the art, the writing credits and things like that, we know what she's been about since the beginning. But
Yep.
has she been in the limelight since the beginning? And you also have to look at Money Long. She has been
Same.
in the business for a very long time. People don't
Mm-hmm.
remember Priscilla Renee; they just know Money Long. So I look at it like, yes, I think she should have performed, and I think she would have teared the house down as a performer at the VMAs. But how many music videos has she put out to where it's like, oh, we need to have her as a performer at the VMAs? I would have loved for her to perform at the VMAs because I know it would have been a great performance. But we also have to look at it. She's not popular to everybody. You have to look at who the VMAs cater to as well. I mean, this ain't the
The,
BET Awards, this ain't Soul Train Awards, this ain't the Source Awards. You know what I'm saying? So we
yes,
also have to
yeah.
look at who she is. She may not now. I don't know. She may be popular to everybody, but I know she is considered a black artist currently right now.
Mm-hmm.
And once she gets that, I know she's on tour right now. I mean, we already know that her artistry is amazing, and we already know that she's going to be on top. but unfortunately, I don't think she was there to the point where she needed to perform at the VMAs, and I don't think her like that would have done anything for her career because she's already amazing. So we already know she's gonna be amazing. You know what I mean?
No, this is a very
No
fair
doubt
point.
about it.
I think that the question was posed because there were artists who did not do and do not have projects out that have performed at the VMAs. But at the same time, as you said, this is MTV, and we have to consider who their audience caters to, and that there are some
Hmm.
people who are known even though they may not have music out or they may be just now getting started, but because they're known in pop culture and whatnot is
Exactly.
why they've been, able to get those performances. Whereas, with Victoria, yes, I think that she deserves the recognition by all means. It's just
She's
look
an
who the audience
R&B
of
girly,
MTV is. Yes, exactly. Like look
and
who
that's
it's MTV. Come on, guys. Like we all know Viacom and their system. We all know that
exactly like
if
we
this
don't
if
expect JoJo Siwa to perform at the BET Awards. Like there's a time and a
yes.
place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Very, very, very true. Any more comments on this?
Um, I think music itself is in a. I want to be positive about this. I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking down on it, but music in itself right now, I feel like is in a point of stagnant, or it's in a stagnant state. You have those who are coming out and they have great albums and EPs and whatnot, and then you have those who are like, again, I said it earlier in previous seasons. It's a microwave generation. Everybody can essentially make a signature sound just to get the viral hits, and that's what goes. And then that goes and plays out for about 2 3 months, and then the next person who was doing the same as the person before comes along and puts out the same, if not the exact same song and idea topic. I just feel like music right now is stagnant. I haven't really had anybody who's really caught my ear, and that could just be because I'm always working, so I don't really hear too much. But yeah, like I don't know. I think when it comes to like VMAs and like concepts and music ideas, the idea of the actual art like is lost. You think about music videos from when we were younger, those were full blown productions, and like it would be like a 3 4 minute song plus the video, and now it's kind of like a 2 maybe 3 minute video, and like yeah, they might have a split concept between the video, but again, it's all encompassing some of the same things. I don't know. I think they do need to give the people who have been in the game like 10 15 plus years their time to shine, because the generation that's making music needs to know where their idea of music comes from, if that makes sense.
that
To comment, I will say that in terms of rap, I wholeheartedly agree that rap has gotten stagnant, especially in the mainstream, because I've been watching a few videos and just been listening to a few rap songs, and it's like usually when it comes to rap, the generation kind of changes. Like it should change every 3 to 4 years or so, and rap used to be consistently changing and in a period of 3 to 4 even 5 years, but rap has not changed in the last 8, and that I think is a very, very big problem for it. That's not to say that it's dying in popularity. It's just become very stagnant now. With R&B, it's really, really hard to kind of gauge because we know that with the blending of R&B sounds with hip hop now and how hip hop artists are making their music, it's been a very rough road for R&B. But that being said, there are still artists out there like Victoria Monet, like Cleo Soul, like I'm trying to think. I don't want to say Brent Fires, but I mean just throwing that out there because Brent Fires is well known. There are still some good R&B artists out there that may not be getting as much popular play just because of what pop and what hip hop are doing in the charts right now and how they've pretty much blurred the lines between in music. But
Mm-hmm.
as we've talked about before, that also means that a lot of rap doesn't have a lot of staying power as well. There used to be times where like classics or certain songs would be played almost year round, and you're not getting that anymore. It's like it's here for a hot minute, maybe a month or two, and then it's gone. If it doesn't have that true staying power, if it doesn't like blow up. So I get what y'all are saying. As far as that is concerned. Nasa, did you want to comment?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that Victoria Monet should have performed at the VMAs. Like I really do. Like, and I understand that we're talking about how the VMAs caters to like a certain crowd and like a certain level of popularity. But I feel as though like if she had performed, she would have gained that overdue popularity. But you know what is in God's time? You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying rush it. I'm not saying rush it. But I do think that that would have been an amazing opportunity for her. But you know what is always in due time.
Indeed.
Now you mentioned Cleo Soul. Have you heard her album?
The
Not
new
her
Her
one that
new
just
new
came
song?
song,
out,
but
Yes,
baby. Mm.
baby. Yeah.
I'm on it though. But I've cause I got it saved. Like, okay, I got this queued up, but I'm trying to get through the rest of her music right now, because I'm like, yo, before I jump into heaven, let me make sure that I go back, because I had to actually go back and like listen to her. So, but I'm working through it.
Go
I
listen
heard
to
that
it.
heaven was
Go listen to it.
mm.
It's perfect. Like she did it again, and yeah, like
Shit,
she
say
does. She
less.
just does good. She just does good work. Like, and it's definitely still a healing season. So if you're in that mood of you need a healing, go listen to her.
Say,
Hey,
hey,
I hate to goddamn leave, but your boy gotta go punch this clock.
hey, man, do what you gotta do, bro. You know, we appreciate you popping in, and we will definitely catch you on the next episode that we do on here, man. Do what you gotta do to earn that check.
You know what, for sure. But like, nah, it was good hearing from y'all. Um, to the listeners, until next time, just keep your boy lifted up in prayer, and Godspeed.
All right, bro. Well, we appreciate
Talk
you
to you
stopping
later,
in, and
bro.
we'll holler at you later.
Love.
I
So while I got the two ladies still here, uh, yeah, I'm definitely about to hop on that Clio. So, but to everybody's point, um, I think that yeah, Victoria Monet will have her time. I have no doubt at this point. Like it's she's undeniable, at least for us. So it's gonna come sooner, and it's gonna come sooner rather than later, hopefully. So I do want to hop into this really quickly as far as new music, because we just talked about Cleo. So I do want to say that as far as like music, I'm in the middle of Diddy's album right now. The Love album slash Off the Grid. It's
he did
different
that.
for Diddy, but yeah,
He
I actually, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Like I was like, oh, I'm surprised. Okay, well, shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
That is a good that he did that one. That's good.
mm-hmm,
It was good. It's good. I
yeah,
do have a couple favorites. I was listening to it today. I do have a couple favorites.
okay, okay.
Jasmine,
Um, I
Jasmine Sullivan
see.
needs to go.
I hadn't got there yet.
Oh wait,
That's one that I was getting to.
sorry. Yeah,
No, but yeah, I was like, because I saw that Jasmine Sullivan, I was like, hold the phone, let me get to it, let me build up, because I definitely, whoo, boy, I'm waiting to get to that song. I'm just waiting, and I'm literally like 2 songs away. I'm on intermission side B, so I know I got to get through Justin Bieber's, and I know Jasmine is literally gonna be right there. So I
you're in
can't
for a
wait.
treat. You're in
Okay,
for a treat. I'm just gonna say that you're in for a treat.
say less, say less. Um, what other music that I've listened to? Oh, as far as new R&B, Leon Thomas. If y'all have not heard of him, please look him up and listen to his
He came out
album.
with something.
Yes, yes, he did. He
Oh, I
dropped a
love him.
Yeah, he dropped his
I'm gonna go ahead and
album.
say that bad boy right now.
Yep, Electric Dusk. It dropped in August actually, and it kind of snuck up on me because I saw a tweet saying Leon Thomas is gonna drop soon, and I was like, okay, cool, bet I'm gonna wait on it. Somehow I missed it, but then I caught it like 5 days later. I'm like, oh, he dropped, and I went to listen to it. Yeah, definitely check out Electric Dusk. It is a good album. It's a very good album. And uh as far as other new music, I know Doja Cat dropped. I haven't taken a look at it. Apparently, she was really spitting on this last album. I don't know, but I'm not the biggest Doja fan, but I'll try to give it a try. As always, I'm very open minded when it comes to music, and it's not that Doja isn't talented. She's very talented. It's just it ain't for me. It don't vibe with me personally, but still, I'll still listen to it, give it a chance. And I think that is all that I've had as far as like new music. Obviously, Victoria Monet. We don't gotta go into that. Yeah, I think that. Oh, I did listen to Quavo's album. It's all right, I guess, for a tribute album for what it is. It ain't the same no more without Takeoff, but
He dropped the
it is what
project.
it is. Yeah, Quavo dropped the project.
Oh damn.
So
Oh,
if you get the opportunity to listen to it, I did it because it was for Takeoff. That's why he made the album. It's called Rocket Power. It was you could definitely tell it was for his
much
nephew.
respect for that.
So yeah, but
Definitely much respect
yeah.
for that.
So and so that's me on new music. Anybody else?
No, other than the Cleo Soul project, I haven't listened to anything
Gotcha.
new.
Oh, I missed one. Uh, Nick Grant. For those of you who don't know, Nick Grant is a rapper out of South Carolina. Had an album called Return of the Cool that should have got more play, but he dropped an album called Sunday Dinner. It is phenomenal. Please go listen to it. I kid you not. That man can spit, and he does not get the recognition that he deserves. And that's not just because I'm from South Carolina and I'm singing his praise. It's not. If you have not heard of Nick Grant, please be sure that you go and listen to him. Dude reminds me of a lot of Big Crit. Not as cut as Big Crit, but still he's got some great lyrics. So please be sure that you go and listen to him. Sappy.
Yes. Well,
Oh, so there.
Shop it girl.
It's like she was speaking and then it just kind of cut out.
And it just cut out.
Shit. Hang on.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yes.
All right. So,
She cut out again.
Yeah. Sappy girl, can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you now. Try again.
All right. Let me see if I can turn off my. I'm using my headphones. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're speaking or not, but now we can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I was saying April and Vista and Little Dragon just released the EP called "Slipping Into Color," and that is like phenomenal. So y'all should definitely.
Slipping into color. Okay. And you cut out again. Boy, this is gonna be interesting. This is definitely gonna be interesting. We gonna have to like the edit for this is going to be kind of crazy, but we'll try to find a way to make it work. Sap.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you again.
I don't know what my phone keeps going out. I got good service. I got bars.
I don't know, but you said slipping into color and okay.
She went out again.
She
Sappy girl.
Yeah, the
Hello?
service don't. Yeah, yes.
Hello.
I don't know why my service is acting real funny.
Is it your headphones? Like,
No, I'm not even using them. I'm gonna just shut up.
uh,
I'm gonna just shut up.
oh man. So we got the little dragon slipping in the color. Uh, was there anything else that you
I
could think
said,
of?
Tezo touchdown. Can y'all hear me still?
Yes, I heard that part. Okay, Tezo touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, we following that. How did you sleep at night? Is his latest album. I will make sure that we save that. Anything else? And it's crazy because Tizo, like, he's got a really interesting look about him, but
Very interesting, but his music is wild, and I love it.
wow.
And then
I,
also,
I've
there's this band called Group Therapy. They just came out with their album.
mm-hmm.
It's called I was
Wow, it actually cut her off while she was talking. That's nuts.
Mm.
In the middle of a sentence.
hello.
It's going like in and out.
This is so
Sappy
disrespectful.
keeps going in and out.
I'm gonna just shut up. Check out Group Therapy's new album.
Okay. Say less. I was mature for my age, but I was still a child. Okay. Saving that as we speak.
There it is. Now I'm quiet.
All right. Cool. Okay. Real quick, I'ma just t- y'all know I hate invoking the name of Onika Tanya Mirage Petty on this podcast. But we got to talk about this because this is just pure chaos. I don't know what is in her mind and how her mind works. I try not to lose sleep over that fact, but it's just. And if y'all are watching the video on the Patreon, y'all can just literally see the frustration on my face when it comes to her and her husband. Because I really don't want to talk about her specifically. It's just her husband tried to make threats towards Offset and told him that he was outside, and that man got put on house arrest
He need to be put on
because
in the inside.
I don't get it. I don't get what I don't know. I can't tell anybody who to fall in love with. That ain't my job. That ain't my purpose. It's just it don't make no kind of sense for this dude and for her to be acting the way that they do. He is 45, she is 40. There is why? Why? That's all I can really say about that. So I'm trying to actually bring up the actual article for he got put on house arrest. Too many articles are coming up for something different, but this happened about 4 days ago with his articles. I'll read Rolling Stone. Fuck it. So Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, has been sentenced by a federal judge in Los Angeles to serve house arrest after violating the terms of his 3-year probation, according to a court order obtained by Rolling Stone. So this man was still on probation and violated. According to the document filed on Wednesday, Penny was recorded on video making threatening remarks toward a specific individual while in the company of someone with a criminal record. Legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff, who first reported the news. For those who don't know who Megan Cuniff is, she was the reporter in the courthouse during the Daystar Peterson trial. And for those who don't know who that is, you should know by now. But still, uh, who first reported the news, claimed on Twitter that the individual is Offset, Cardi B's husband. The filing states that Petty's probation officer believes placement in the location monitoring program will effectively allow for closer monitoring of Mr. Petty's activities, limit his movements, provide a sanction for his non-compliance, and hopefully encourage him to reflect upon and reevaluate his current status in the community. Petty agreed to the modification terms and waived a personal appearance before the court, which means he knew he was guilty. Judge Michael W. Fitzgerald ordered Petty to serve up to 120 days of house arrest.
So that man is on house arrest. He a sex offender. He a felon. Like, that man is checking off a list.
I, I'm saying, again, I don't know who. Again, I can't tell you who to fall in love with. I can't tell you why you should have certain feelings or why you shouldn't have certain feelings for certain people. That ain't my job. Listen. I don't have a girlfriend myself, so I couldn't explain it to you. But that being said, just this dude itself has just he's so problematic, and maybe toxicity lives as it breathes. Toxic people deserve each other, I guess. And listen, Nicki Minaj again, all her accomplishments, great. She is one of the best, if not the best, female hip hop artists. She's just not a good person. She's just not a good person. And I've seen the way that she reacted on Twitter. I saw like a couple of the Queen radio videos, which I started to ask myself, like, why is she acting like this at her age? Why is she talking like this?
Some
I
people do
don't
not
get it.
grow out of stupidity. So,
I guess so. I guess so. And it's not that I don't like her music. It's just her. And I know, and if you're a barb and you about to come after me, that's fine. I don't care. I've never once trashed Nicki's music, except for Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded. That album was trash, but I've Pink Friday, The Pink Print, and Queen. Those are all good albums. Pink Friday is her best work. She's had some of the best features ever, and like some of the best verses. Like she can rap and write circles around some of these dudes in hip hop. Don't get me wrong. I love her talent. It's just her outside of hip hop is like, yo, what? Some of the stuff that she says and does just makes me feel like, yeah, I don't even want to be around her. And granted, we may never interact because hell, I'm not famous. And she don't know me from a can of paint. And she never will. It's just so crazy to see that people in our community and people who are considered role models in the community and have these rabid ass fan bases is how they react. It really bothers me because she and her fan base are so toxic. It's absolutely nuts. And do I think that some parts of the industry have treated her unfairly? Yes. It's just some of her reactions are just like, as Sappy said, it's just stupidity at this point. It's stupidity and childishness. It's like you have not taken the opportunity to grow up and actually like mature. And by all means, like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. If that's how you are, that's how you're going to be, then that's fine. But just from the way that she acts and the way that her sex offender husband have acted, it's like I don't even want to be associated with that person. I don't even want to talk about Onika right now, but I had to mention it because it's part of the culture and it's really just surprising to see that we have to bring this up again because it seems like she just anything that she has done in these 3 years that I've had this podcast, it just seems like the rap she just keeps adding up, and it's so much shit. But anyway, I'm gonna quit talking about it. Anybody got any comments on Mr. Petty's house arrest?
it was petty and childish. The end.
Point well taken. NASA.
Same as what Sappy said. It was petty and childish. Cause what was it for?
Exactly.
At your
And
big,
all
big
pun
age.
intended. Hmm.
At your big colossal age. Like, let's be honest.
45 years old acting like that. And she 40 acting like that.
At your big age. I thought we would have matured, but that's all right.
Yeah. Now, I know that in some cases she said that she'll do anything to protect her child. So when it comes to I guess that whatever case that was going on with her, I get it. I get, you wanted to protect your family and shit. But what your husband was doing in regards to Offset, you need to chill. You whatever beef that you and Cardi B have, like yo, just cut it out, please, and stop beefing with all the rap girlies. Like just do what you have to do. Continue to make music. Continue to be featured. Continue to hype up the rap girls, and call it a day. That's all that I ask. That's all that I'm asking. Moving on, because I'm gonna get tired talking about these folks. One quick note for me, uh, is am for those who don't know, I play video games. So I've been on my Mortal Kombat 1-ish. I have not put the game down. You can make comments about the story and the gameplay all you want, but I'm enjoying myself. I really love this game. Like it's really caught all of my attention. I've not had time to play anything else. Y'all know I was like big on Destiny 2 for a little bit, and I'm still big on Destiny 2, but Mortal Kombat has literally taken up all of my time. So I just want to throw that out there. I've also got Final Fantasy 16, which will be the next game that I play. I may make some clips and may post it on the page and show how I've been playing the game. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. If there are any Switch games or any family games or any other console games that y'all have been playing, just please let us know in the comments and let us know what we should be picking up so that way we can get our gaming on over here, because some of us are gamers and we definitely would love to uh dive deeper into these games that are out there. Do
Speaking
we
of
have
Switch,
any? You said what?
I said, speaking of Switch, they still ain't released Hogwarts Legacy out. I waited, I pre-ordered. They refunded me my money because it ain't come out in June like it was supposed to. And yet here we are, still waiting on the release. But it's none of my business.
Hey,
I got my
listen,
money back.
I'm glad you got your money back. Now, mind you, I have a Switch, but I was not getting that game on the Switch. That game was specifically going to my PS5 because
But I
I
ain't got a
was not
PS5,
waiting.
so
I feel that. But I mean, I had to do it because I was like, nah, I ain't waiting for that game. I'm not waiting for it to come out on no Switch or anything like that. And listen, I saw Mortal Kombat 1 got released on the Switch and I saw the graphics for that. I was like, no, I'm glad I got this on the PS5 because,
I
yeah,
figured
the
the
Switch,
graphics would be trash.
yeah, the Switch cannot handle it. It cannot handle the engine. So certain games don't need to be made for certain systems. In this case, I know that Nintendo has opened itself up for more mature games and mature audiences, but there are certain games that just ain't built for that tiny ass system. I'm sorry. I love the Switch. It's not built for that though. So maybe whatever system Nintendo comes up with next time would have the capabilities to handle that game, but it is what it is. So to end off this episode, I just wanted to propose a topic. We've had a myriad of topics for today, but I just wanted to know between the three of us here, uh, that burnout can be a real thing, and I know that a lot of us like to do certain things. Like some of us may like to sit down and watch TV. Some people may like to play video games. Some people may like to go outside and touch grass and do whatever activity it is, and some people like to do podcasting and things like that. But at times we experience burnout from the activities that we love, and it can really affect people because there was a time that I didn't watch anime for a while just because I was burnt out from watching too much. And so I had to move on and watch something else, or I had to pick up a book and read it. I literally was reading or rereading the entire Harry Potter series, and got caught in the middle of burnout on the seventh book at that.
I'm
I'm
doing that
like,
right know.
I'm gonna finish rereading the seventh book because I'm right when they hit the Ministry of Magic. And
I'm on
so
Goblet of Fire.
hey, listen, I sped through Goblet of Fire. Like that is still one of my favorite books. And it's a shame what they did to that movie, but I'm not gonna talk about it. But
You know, because there
s-
was so much they could have done with that, and they didn't. There's so much they left
yes,
out from the book. But that's
yes.
another day.
Honestly, I think as far as emotion, I think the best adaptation was probably Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban. That's what I was gonna say.
Y- Yeah, I think that's the best like movie adaptation out of it. There's still some things, a lot of things missing, but still, as far as from an emotional standpoint, I think it really captured the essence of the book. So, uh, when and if they remake this series, I just hope that they're able to get those details because there's a lot of information that was missing from the books. But again, you can't, you can only do but so much with a 2.5 hour movie as opposed to a book that's like anywhere between 200 and ranges all the way up to 860 or 870 pages if we're talking about the fifth book. But anyway, when it comes to burnout, I just know that if you are out there, there are going to be times where you get burned out from your favorite thing. And it's a real thing because you could be cosplaying and you just like, you know what, I don't want to cosplay right now. I'm just burnt out from all the things that I've been doing. You could be a con goer and you don't want to attend any more cons because you're burnt out from being overstimulated, or maybe you're burnt out because your pockets got burned out and you don't want to spend no more money, or maybe you're just tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. It could be a real thing. Yeah, I didn't pick up a lot of video games for a while because I was just burnt out from playing so many video games. It's the same thing I said about anime. So burnout is a real thing. However, I always like to say, don't let burnout deter you from doing something that you love. If you love doing something, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step back and be like, you know what, I love it, but it ain't going nowhere. And God willing, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm gonna go and do this other thing to take my mind off it and try to find ways to reassess and reset. So I know for me personally, I've had to take time out and go read a book or go outside and do an activity. I can't really stop working as much as I want to say that I'm burned out from work because trust me, I'm burned out from work. I'm burned out from my job. I've been burned out, but can't stop it until I find another job. So, but there are other activities that you will experience burnout, and it's just like I don't feel like doing this right now. As much as I love it, it may be that you're a creator and you like to make things, and you just don't have the energy to do it, or you're just not in the correct mindset. But it's okay to take a step back and be like, you know what, I'm gonna come back to it. Let me just take some time to do something else, do something more creative, and then when I'm ready, I'll come back to it. So I just want to ask both Nasa and Sabby, since they're here, what do you do to reset from burnout?
So
Um,
currently, at the moment, I am experiencing burnout severely. Um, and I think like I'm trying to mentally prepare because, as y'all know, I am a crafter, and usually the holiday season is when I am the most sought after and the most stressed. So I try to prepare myself ahead of time, to mentally prepare myself ahead of time. So what I have been doing is reading books more. So I am actually proud of myself because I have met my book goal for the year. So yay
Okay,
me. Um, I'm
let's go.
actually
We accomplishing
surpassing
goals.
my book goal for the year. So and now I am rereading, like I said earlier, I'm rereading the Harry Potter series.
Okay,
Um, And so one thing that's really assisted me in doing that is it's not an ad anybody, but I have used the Libby app. So if you guys are avid readers, there's an app called Libby. And if you own a library card or anything like that, you can use your library card and sign in through the Libby app, and it gives you access to all the books that your library has. So instead of paying for like Audible or Overdrive or anything like that, Kindle, you get free access to it if you have a library card. So that's what I've been using, and it has saved me $15 a month because I used to pay for Audible monthly. And so it is a great resource that I use audiobooks for. You can get physical copies, all of that stuff, and it's a perfect tool to have. So is what I use for my burnout. And so I have read so far 30 books this year, and the year is not over yet. So we'll see how far that goes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Nasa?
For me, when I have a burnout, I usually try to go to the gym. Um, and like me going to the gym is not necessarily for me to like, of course to stay, stay fit and everything, but it's really for like mental and emotional regulation. So I'll go to a gym, maybe do like a 30-minute walk on the treadmill, or if not, I'll just go to the park. Just go to the park and lay out if I'm having a burnout. Just go to the park
And
and lay.
that park walks be getting it sometimes. I love
Begin
it.
absolutely, or just like laying down on the grass and like under a tree, maybe reading a book, like just being in trying to be in a serene place for real.
Hey, everybody has different methods as far as recovering from burnout. I'm just gonna read a couple of tweets here because I did post it on the page itself. My boy JB said he just unplugged completely, and there's no problem with that. My boy 501 Black says chill on everything. Don't touch whatever I'm burnt out on until I get the feeling again. Basically, focus on other hobbies. One of my friends retweeted. She says isolation. Sometimes she just needs to get away from everything and just isolate for a little bit. That's not the path that I would take, but if it helps you, become re-energized again from that burnout, then by all means do what you have to do. Shout out to my girl Nine. And then my boy Huey T, I think is kind of like a culmination of what everybody was saying. Take a break from something and go do something else. Take weeks off from social media, try new music, new hobbies that others are interested in, etc. Get off your path until you're ready to get back on. And sometimes that's necessary. I know for me, again, I may switch and do another hobby. And then if I get burnt out from that hobby, I'll go do something else. And then when I'm ready to get back on the hobby that I love, I'll come back to it. And there is no timetable for you to recover from burnout. I just want everybody to realize that it doesn't mean that you'll be recovered in a day or 2 days or weeks or months. Sometimes it could be years. It happens to the best of us. But don't let that deter you from doing something you love or creating something that you want to do or, being, whether it be music or whether it be crafting or whether it be podcasting or whether it be acting. It happens to all of us, but just take the time that you need to reset, refocus, do what you have to do to focus on other things, and then when you feel that spark again, then go back to it. It ain't going nowhere. That's really the words that I want to leave with you today, especially if you are out here trying to make a difference, if you're out here trying to create for yourself or own a business or just help others succeed, or even if it's just doing your own thing, or whether you're content creating or whether you are a person who just creates content, because there's a difference between a content creator and those who just take up the hobby, or whether you're a gamer, whether you are a podcaster, whether you are a voice actor or an actor, a writer, a reader, whether you're in the arts or whether you're in business or whether you are in real estate or whether you are in music, it happens to all of us. And it's okay to have those feelings, and it's okay to actually, experience that. That doesn't mean that, you've lost the spark or anything. It just means that you got to take a break. We human, we're not built to do things that consistently over and over and over again without feeling some kind of weary, worn out, or burnout. It's going to happen. So just do what you can to recover, whether that be to isolate or whether that be to focus on new hobbies, new music, or whatever the case, whatever method that you have to get that spark again, do that. And just know that it's okay to take a few steps back away from whatever you're doing and come back to it later. Because again, God willing, it ain't gonna go nowhere. If it's what you love and it's what you're passionate about, it'll be there waiting for you. Time is a construct anyway, so what do I know? With that, I think this is a spot, good spot to end this podcast. So, before we get up out of here, are there any new business highlights that anybody wants to talk about real quick?
Y'all do me a quick favor and go to Instagram and TikTok and follow the GVGVO brand. I will be coming out with like an online clothing store, so please stay tuned. Really, the sky is the limit. I'm really trying to seek out new adventures, um, and just new avenues for myself as I really try to dive into my purpose. So, yeah, definitely do that. Do me that favor and go follow the GVGVO brand, where you will see merch and really fly clothing. So stay tuned and purchase and purchase when
Hey,
when clothing drops. Okay, so 10-4.
sounds good. I'm gonna add that to the notes here for the GVGVO brand analysis, so we'll include that on the rundown as well. Okay, Sappy.
I don't have a business this time around.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the rundown here. Now, for those who have not heard this podcast long enough to know what the rundown is, it's pretty much where we name all of our podcast content creators, artists, and business owners who have in some form or fashion either have been on this podcast or they have supported this podcast in one way or another. So with that, I'm actually going to do the full rundown here with the list, and then we're going to go ahead and sign up and get the hell up out of here. We kept y'all long enough. It's been an hour and a half. It's time to go. Plus, some of us are tired and need sleep. And some of us got to get up at the crack of dawn to work in the morning. So, we're going to try to be as quick as possible with this. For our podcast shout outs, of course, shout out to Shoko High, Inside the Mind of a Blur. Those are the two other podcasts that I'm a part of. Please be sure that you check this out on all DSPs here. Shout out to My Check Waifu, Worst Generation Podcast, and Blanime Podcast. I am a Patreon subscriber to those three podcasts. Please be sure that you support them as well. Go check them out. Also, shout out to Worst Generation Podcast and Blanime Podcast for Anime After Dark Community Hangout, which is a podcast that is held every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time on X Spaces or Twitter Spaces, whatever. It's on that platform. So just be sure that you check out Spaces for that podcast. Shout out to the Truth and Transparency podcast with Brother X, the Culture Scientist, and Mr. Smith. I actually ran into Mr. Smith at the Hampton Howard game. So shout out to you, bro, man. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Hope to see you at homecoming. And Brother X and the Culture Scientist, I believe at the time of this recording, they are supposed to be getting married this week. So I'm looking forward to that. I will be probably watching the live stream because I believe that's the the only way that they can invite people, because I think they're keeping the ceremony as far as people attending very light. So I will definitely be sure that I tune into that live stream. Definitely shout out to the session with Jay and Trey. Definitely Kay Renee. She had a podcast, but I think she's going to change it up a little bit as well. So whenever she comes out with her new podcast, we'll be sure to mention it on the rundown here. But again, be sure that you check out her novellas under the pen name Sedona Rose, which are all available on Amazon Kindle. Shout out to It's So Real with Raquel and Onaji. Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Ash. Definitely shout out to Analytical where shit gets critical. Shout out to the Geek Set podcast who are doing big things over there. Shout out to Young Deuces. And of course, Anime Junkies, 3 Weaves in a podcast. Be sure that you check them out as well. For our Black content creators, oh goodness, as far as podcasts, I definitely forgot. It's those anime girls. I definitely got to mention T and Bree, because they've been some of my biggest supporters. So I'm definitely going to add y'all to the list. I'm not going to forget y'all. And yeah, and then definitely shout out to Anime's Anime. They have been doing some big things over there as well, and I believe they hold their pod spaces on Spaces every Wednesday. So please be sure that you check out those anime girls and anime's anime. All right, so for our black content creators, we got Black Anime with Aaron, HBCU Anime with Evan, Yo to the Good, uh Sundari with my girl Erica, Cerberus Entertainment, definitely shout out to them. They got some new material coming out. Kiana, aka the Geechee Gamer, Icarus Metro Comics with my boy Calvin, Studio Maho with my boy Pat and Yin, Soul, aka Humblest of the Soul Brother, who is also working with Analytical. So definitely shout out to Soul. Shout out to the gang Hub Taku. They doing their thing over there. So yeah, they if you are a content creator, I definitely recommend that you hit up Hubtaku. They will provide what you need. Like the opportunities that they and the connections that they have are bountiful. So please be sure that you take uh advantage of that. Definitely shout out to Shelby with Simply Janine, Rose Less Traveled, and Simply Baked. I gotta throw that in there, and I gotta get Shelby back on here to talk about Simply Baked because let me tell you, them baked goods, yeah, yeah, I've said it on this podcast, I believe, before. I'll say it again. She does not sacrifice taste. So not only will they taste good or to have you feeling good. I'm gonna leave it at that. Definitely shout out to my boy Strange Keith with Idols to Icons. Shout out to Toasty Marshmallow. She's always doing something. Definitely shout out to my girl Simone with By Simone Malcolm. She's now a streamer as well. She's been doing good with the anime verses. And then definitely shout out to Courtney with None of My Friends Watch Anime. And she's also a streamer as well. She's a variety streamer with Salacious Saturdays and just whatever game that she decides that she wants to get into. So definitely shout out to them. For our black artists, of course, we got to shout out NASA. Shout out to our boy Scoozy. Shout out to Jack Union, Phil.me, Ellis Quinn. Shout out to RJ Stackhouse. Shout out to my boy Quarter. Shout out to Tyrone Leak Jr., who is, always raps our theme songs. Boy always drops some fire ass theme songs for this pod. So much love to Leak, man. He's really come through when it comes to giving us a theme song. Shout out to Ari Lachelle, Zach Hines with Fortresses, my girl Elena, and of course our girl Zaynab. And then for Black Business shout outs, Already Paid by Dre, Fresh Nerds, Righteous Minds by Timo, KSS Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by Naima, Mind Over Money by Miss Tremaine, Studio Maho Game with Pat Yin. Shout out to Concept Moon, She Designs Too, with my girl Erin. Black Magic and Lit Wands by my girls Lone T, H4 Creative with my girl Zenobia, Real Estate Stone by Miss Meredith, Sold by Bell by Miss Mariah, Blur Mind Studios with my boy Scuba Steve. Steve actually submitted his application to join the Chaotic Culture podcast, and I gotta make sure I talk it out with the gang. I'm all for it. We gotta get some. Gotta find a way to build up this podcast as well. Anyway, and him being on this show would add a more chaotic element to this show anyway. But again, I gotta make sure that it is okay with the other co-hosts as well. I gotta make sure we get that community vote on there. And with that, GVO brand by NASA and Coasters Bar and Grill, which is here in Buckrow Beach in Hampton. So,
You on that list?
throw you on that list too, Sappy?
Yes, Scrappy Sentiment.
Okay. You said Scrappy Sentiment.
Yep, that is my crafting brand.
All right. We are on there. Y'all be sure that y'all check out these businesses. These are all black owned businesses as well.
On
So
IG as well. Check me out. Check me out.
indeed. Y'all already know we gonna make sure that we highlight our co-host if we don't do nothing else. So with that, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite DSP. Be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for early access to the podcast, bonus episodes of the podcast, and the video podcast itself. You can subscribe at any of the 4 levels listed, whether it's $3, $5, $7, or $10. It does not matter. We still appreciate your support. Go to patreon.com/Chaotic Culture Pod for access to the bonus content. You can follow Chaotic Culture Podcast on Facebook. You can also follow us on IG at Chaotic Culture Pod and follow us on that other social media platform at chaotic_culture. X, Twitter, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. You can follow me, Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro on all social media, including Threads. You can also follow Miss NASA at _call me NASA on all social media until she decides to change it. You can follow Law on IG at L.JR_96 and on X/Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Sape on all social media at Scraps14. And of course, you can follow Johnny at JLeeTrey on all social media. And this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. What up, Zuko? So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, God is love. 2 up, 2 down.
Jeez, say bye, Zuko.
Peace.
Whew.
Bye, Zuko.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue all the latest topics, guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel, just like you're a kid again. Kid to pro and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?